The Buccaneers are now on the clock. Buccaneers have made their selection, and it's Conley.
He's the type of wide receiver that several scouts believe could be the next all-time great. His performance at the College All-Star Game further supported this belief, hauling in double-digit catches and ending the day with 4 touchdowns. Draft experts praise him for his pure athleticism, but some have questioned his work ethic. Matt Miller was one of them, feeling that when the game comes so easily to you at the college level and you are so gifted physically, you could very easily lose the mental edge needed to excel in the NFL. He should get plenty of reps in the preseason to prove his worth and see if he can live up to the lofty expectations that many have for him.
The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. Adam Schefter has the inside scoop on Wells now.
This quarterback has garnered the reputation as being one of the more consistent passers in all of college football this season. He had a string of games where he averaged over 300 yards and at least 2 touchdown passes a game. According to Matt Miller, the big takeaway from his hot streak was that he played against varying levels of competition. No matter if it was some of the weaker defenses in college or some of the toughest, he tore apart their secondaries. He always plays at a high level and never sinks down to the level of his competition. We'll see if he can remain so consistent once he's playing on Sundays.
The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. They just went with McCray here, Adam. Right move?
He's a Heisman-winning defender. Let me say that one more time. He won the Heisman, and he's a defensive player. Need I say more? You can imagine how well he played this season to win the biggest award in college over several offensive playmakers. The trophy was well-deserved, and according to Matt Miller, he projects really well as a defender in the NFL. I think this is a home run pick, and it's great to see a defender get some well-deserved recognition.
Adam, what can you tell us about the Titans' newest player?
He was one of the most dominant pass rushers in college football last year, getting everyone's attention after netting over 20 sacks and setting a new school record. He started seeing double teams at the line midway through the season, and that still didn't stop him from getting to the quarterback. Scouts all agree that he is a rare combination of strength and burst off the line that make him a threat on almost every play. He's a real difference maker for a defense, and he should be a starter for this defensive line in no time.
The Colts pick is in. Adam, give us the rundown.
He kicked off the offseason with one of the best all-star performances among defensive backs this year. How well did he play? As Matt Miller described, he simply took his matchup out of the play each and every time. The quarterbacks did their best avoiding him throughout the day, throwing to the other side of the field or the check down read. After he made such a big impression at the All-Star game, he backed up his play with a fantastic showing at the Combine and Pro Days. The team has to be grateful he was available at this point in the draft, and it didn't waste any time scooping him up.
The LA Dreams are now on the clock. Okay, so the Crusaders have made their pick. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
Like football, rugby's a sport that's played with guys of all shapes and sizes. In his case, he was one of the big guys pushing and pulling blocks in the center of the pitch. He was playing rugby for a university in Australia before he was recruited to transfer and play football for 2 seasons here in America. His first year was spent adjusting to the game, getting used to the different rules and how to play his position properly. The guy even had to adjust how he tackled now that he had to wear pads and a helmet. But his second year is really where we started to see what he could potentially do. He's a physical player at the line of scrimmage. The team was able to pick up a good addition to its line with a bit of an interesting history.
The Bears are now on the clock. The Houston Oilers are now on the clock. The Oilers pick is in. Let's go to Adam with more on Ford.
Hard, physical running is his calling card. There was no better display of what he's capable of than when he set a team record for rushing yards in a game, eclipsing the 300-yard mark. After that performance, he put the NFL on notice. Now he's arrived anxious to prove he'll be capable of ripping off big games in the pros, just as he was able to do throughout college. He should see a lot of touches this season, starting in the preseason all the way through what this team hopes is a deep playoff run.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Salt Lake City Elks are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Houston Oilers are now on the clock. The Houston Oilers are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Oklahoma City Nighthawks are now on the clock. The San Antonio Marshals are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Oklahoma City Nighthawks are now on the clock. Let's go to Adam now, who's got more on the Nighthawks' last pick.
Experts will debate the value of the IQ test at the combine each and every day after the fact, but the one thing a player doesn't want to do is turn in the worst score. And this year, it was him. He tested very poorly, and a lot of scouts are of the opinion that he shouldn't have tested at all in the first place. On the bright side, there is a real history of players excelling in the NFL who turned in low IQ scores. I'm sure the GM kept that in mind when making this selection.
The Brooklyn Yanks are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Oklahoma City Nighthawks are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. He's off the board now, Adam, so tell us what you know about Spencer.
He's a running back that has amazed and confused scouts and draft experts all season due to his inconsistent play. Some weeks, he looked like the most dominant back in the nation, and others, he struggled moving the ball past the line of scrimmage. High-level sources I spoke with attributed much of his inconsistency to a poor work ethic in the film room, specifically not reading blocks or understanding cutback lanes in favor of trying to run outside. If these reports were true, this coaching staff is going to have quite a project on its hands.